a sock is. It's not because he has cold feet. No. It's because Puzzele thought it might seem conceited or presumptuous or egotistical to stand here and tell you how wonderful he is, how smart he is, how hard he works, and all that other good stuff. Instead, in his crazy, quirky, creative mind, he thought I should do it for him, like as an introduction. You know, like his right-hand man. You know, he doesn't have cold feet or anything like that. Let me tell you a little bit about Puzzele. Believe it or not, and this is going to be hard to believe, he is actually educated. Apparently he's considered intelligent. He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer admitted in New Jersey and in New York and the District of Columbia and Arizona and the Supreme Court of the United States and I think even a few other places. So yeah, apparently the guy's got some brains. Go figure. Some people even refers to him as eccentric. For example, the famous comedian Jeff Foxworthy, you know that funny guy? He calls Puzzele an eccentric lawyer. But how does Jack Foxworthy know Puzzele? Oh my God, I'm having trouble talking in this high voice. In any event, Jeff Foxworthy knows Puzzele. There will be no editing, by the way. We're doing this in one take. I'm holding up one finger. Can you tell? I got finger problems. In any event, Jeff Foxworthy knows Puzzele because he was on Jeff Foxworthy's show 3 times. Yeah, 3 times, because Puzzele has a quirky sense of humor, and he had these, you know, unusual things in his house, and he decorated the house differently, and Jeff Foxworthy got a kick out of it, so he was on the show for 3 times. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. In fact, talking about Puzzele's house, it kind of reflects his creative personality. It was so unique that Rachel Ray even had Puzzele on her show 4 times. 4. I can't hold up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go. 4 times. Rachel Ray thought he was a funny guy. I guess she didn't hate him since she had him back on the show 4 times. In fact, she was so, perplexed by his creativity of decorating. She even redecorated several of the rooms for him. For example, he had a Halloween room with a casket in it, or a Christmas room, or a medieval times room. In any event, it's not all fun and games. It hasn't been like a walk in the park for Puzzele. You get it, walk in the park? In any event, for example, even as a little kid, it wasn't always easy for Puzzele. Even walking, speaking of walking in the park, walking was a problem. Puzzele, when I was a little kid, had casts on both of his legs. They said he may never walk. Then they said he had a learning disability, and he stuttered, and he was shy, and all this other mumbo-jumbo. Well, Puzzele doesn't give up, and long story short, he proved all the doctors wrong. Eventually, the doctors figured out, hey, you know what? I think Puzzele's going to walk if he sets his mind to it. And that's what he did. He walks, and he talks, and he barely shuts up. In fact, he has no problems physically. He's a certified skydiver. He goes to the gym every day. He's been doing it for the past 20 years. In fact, one of his friends invited him to the New York Marathon, which is over 26 miles. And, hold on, I gotta get some oxygen with this high voice. And so, Puzzele shows up at the New York Marathon, as a goof, in jeans and basketball sneakers. He was gonna, stop for some cannolis in Little Italy. He doesn't run. He's not a racer. But in any event, once Puzzele shows up and once the race started, well, then Puzzele kicks in. He does not give up ever. And he didn't quit. He finished that race over 26 miles in jeans and basketball sneakers with no training. Once he starts, he will win. He will finish. He wasn't the first. Don't get me wrong. Those people are fast. But he did it. He did it with no prep work. In any event, because I'm going to pass out from lack of oxygen, I think I should put a sock in it. And I'm going to introduce the man behind the curtain, Puzzele. Here we go. Here we go. I'm clapping. Here we go. Oh my God, that was... It's hard to believe I'm a lawyer, right? All right, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Puzzele. Obviously, I have a quirky sense of humor. I wanted to get your attention. If you're still watching, either you think I'm creative or a klutz or a kook, one of those. But you're still watching, so I suppose it's a success so far. I'm having trouble finding women that are child-free, women that don't have kids and don't want kids. So I started a website. It was free. I didn't make any money on it. And it was called I Do Not Want Kids. But how do you advertise for something that doesn't exist? I don't want kids. So where do you go? You can't go to Toys R Us and say I don't want kids. You can't go to Disney World and say I don't want kids. So I had to come up with something creative again.
So the first idea I had was I was having condoms printed up. I do not want kids' condoms. And I was sending them to abortion clinics. And needless to say, that idea did not go over well. So then I came up with another idea. And I had to do it on a budget because I'm not charging anything for the site. I dressed up as a giant condom with "I do not want kids" on it. And I participated in the New York Halloween parade because I knew there would be media attention and thousands of people showing up. And I gave out thousands of cards. And I suppose it was a success. I even had a pharmaceutical company contact me, and they wanted to hire me. They thought I was like a multi-million-dollar marketing company. And I had to explain to them, no, I'm not a marketing company. I'm just some klutz trying to get a date. But I'll give you a quick example of, even though you're a lawyer, you have to think outside the box. I had a situation where a bunch of attorneys were having trouble serving a defendant, a slimy defendant. The process servers couldn't get him. The guy was on like an estate. It was a gated community. You couldn't get in. He wouldn't come to the door. You couldn't get anywhere near the guy. So they gave up. And they came to me and they said, hey, you gotta serve this guy. What are you gonna do? Very simple. I got a big cardboard box, okay? Put a couple bricks in the cardboard box, delicately placed my piece of paper in the box, to serve him with, taped it up, made one phone call. I called up UPS. I had UPS deliver the package. The slimy defendant sees UPS coming. Everybody's happy to see UPS. It's like Christmas. So he welcomes him. He opens the gates. He allows him on the property, comes to the front door, even happily signs acknowledging service. And that's just another example. So in any event, I know I'm only supposed to be babbling for 2 or 3 minutes, which I think I've more than satisfied that. I don't want to be circumlocutory or verbose. I think you got the point. I guess the only way to wrap this up is with 2 words. Pick Puzzele. And the reason why I have 2 socks really was one was a backup. I always like backup plans. Goodbye!